The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. Carl Jung. You wake up and feel heavy like you're carrying a backpack you can't see. You go through your day and sometimes it feels like you're always fighting for your place. Maybe you feel misunderstood at home or ignored at work. Maybe you catch yourself thinking, why does no one get me? You replay old arguments in your mind, wishing you'd said the perfect thing. You feel the urge to prove yourself even when it's just a small disagreement. It's like something inside you always wants to be right. It wants to win, to be seen, to be special. But have you noticed? The more you try to prove yourself, the more tired you feel. Sometimes you end up feeling even more alone. This isn't just you. It's something deep inside all of us. Carl Jung called it the ego. But what is the ego really? Think of the ego as the voice in your head that says, I am me. It's the part that wants to stand out. It wants to be noticed, respected, admired. It wants to protect you from feeling small or wrong. The ego is not evil, it's just trying to help you survive. But sometimes it takes over. It makes you believe you are only what others think of you. It tells you to hide your mistakes and show off your strengths. It whispers, don't let them see you weak. It pushes you to compare yourself to others. It makes you crave praise and fear criticism. It's the reason you might feel jealous when someone else succeeds. It's why you might get angry when someone disagrees with you. It's why you sometimes feel like you're not enough, no matter what you do. The ego is sneaky. It hides behind your choices and your reactions. It shapes the way you see the world. It colors your memories and your hopes. It's the reason you might hold a grudge even when you want to forgive. It's the reason you might stay silent even when you want to speak. It's the reason you might speak even when you should stay silent. It's the little judge inside you, always measuring, always weighing. But you're not alone in this. Studies show that most conflicts at work come from ego clashes. A Harvard Business Review survey found that 65% of workplace problems are because of ego, not skills. Relationships break down when both people need to be right. Therapists say ego is behind most arguments between partners. It's not just at work or at home. It's in every group, every team, every family. The ego wants to be the hero of every story. But when everyone wants to be the hero, no one listens, no one learns, no one grows. The ego makes us afraid to admit we're wrong. It makes us afraid to ask for help. It makes us afraid to look weak. But what if the ego is not just a problem? What if it's a sign? A sign that something inside us is hurting. Jung said, an inflated consciousness is always egocentric and conscious of nothing but its own existence. When the ego is in charge, we stop learning. We stop seeing the truth. We get stuck in old patterns. We repeat the same mistakes. We push people away even when we want connection. We chase praise, but it never feels like enough. We try to control everything, but life slips through our fingers. Have you ever felt stuck in the same fight over and over? Have you ever wondered why you keep repeating the same mistakes? The ego is like a mask we wear. It hides our fears and our pain. It tells us to act strong, even when we feel weak. But the mask gets heavy. It gets harder to breathe. Jung said, the ego is a fragment of my personality. It's not the whole story, it's just a part. But sometimes it feels like the only part. It feels like the boss of your life. But it's not. It's just loud, it's just scared, it just wants to keep you safe. But in trying to protect you, it can also trap you. It can keep you from growing. It can keep you from loving. It can keep you from being real. So where does this ego come from? Why does it have so much power? Why does it feel so real? Let's look deeper. Let's find the root. Let's see where the ego begins. Are you ready to look inside? Are you ready to find out what's really running your life? Because the story of your ego is the story of how you learn to survive. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to learn a new way. Let's begin. When you were small, you learned about the world from the people closest to you. Every smile, every frown, every word, they all left a mark. If you were praised for being good, you learned that being good brought love. If you were scolded or ignored, you learned to hide the parts of you that got in trouble. Sometimes you felt safe and wanted. Other times you felt scared or left out. All these moments planted seeds inside you. These seeds grew into beliefs about who you are and what you need to do to belong. Psychologists call these your core beliefs. They're like invisible glasses you wear, coloring how you see yourself and others. Maybe you learned, I must always win to be loved, or if I make a mistake, I'll be left behind. These beliefs are quiet but powerful. They guide your choices even when you don't notice. Carl Jung had a name for the mask you put on for others. He called it the persona. It's the face you show the world, shaped by what you think people want to see. You might act brave when you feel scared. You might act tough when you feel hurt. You might hide your true feelings to fit in. Jung also talked about the inner child. That's the part of you that remembers every joy and every pain from growing up. If your inner child felt safe, you learned to trust. If your inner child felt alone or hurt, you learned to protect yourself. Sometimes you built walls to keep out pain. Sometimes you tried to please everyone, hoping to feel loved. All these defenses are ways your ego tries to keep you safe. But sometimes the ego's protection becomes a prison. Let's look at a real example. Anna grew up in a home where only perfect grades got her hugs. She learned, I am only worthy if I succeed. As an adult, Anna works hard, but she's always afraid of failing. She can't rest. She can't enjoy her wins. Her ego pushes her, but she never feels good enough. Or think about Michael. He was bullied as a child and started to believe I am unlikable. Now he keeps people at a distance, afraid they'll reject him. His ego tells him to stay safe by staying alone. But inside he feels lonely and wants connection. Surveys show that early experiences with parents shape how we see ourselves for life. If you felt loved and safe, you probably trust others more easily. If you felt rejected or ignored, you might always be on guard. Your brain stores these early lessons like a rule book. You follow the rules even if they don't fit anymore. Sometimes these rules sound like, I can't show weakness. I must always be in control. I have to make everyone happy. But these rules are just old stories. They helped you survive as a child. Now they might be holding you back. Jung said, the persona is a mask for the collective psyche, a mask that pretends individuality but in reality is collective. You wear the mask to fit in. But after a while, you forget it's just a mask. You start to think it's who you really are. You forget the child inside who just wanted to be seen and loved. When your ego is in charge, it tries to protect you from pain. But it also keeps you from being real. You might push people away when you want them close. You might chase success but never feel satisfied. You might hide your feelings, even from yourself. The ego's voice gets louder, drowning out your true needs. It tells you to be strong, to be right, to never let your guard down. But deep inside, you might feel tired, lonely, or afraid. That's the moment the ego turns from protector to prison. It locks you in old patterns. It keeps you chasing approval, control, or safety. But you're not that child anymore. You can choose a new way. Are you ready to see how the ego's story plays out in your life? Let's look at how the ego creates drama and keeps you stuck. The ego loves drama. It wants to be the star, even if it means stirring up trouble. When you argue with someone, notice how quickly you want to win. You might raise your voice, cut them off, or stop listening. You feel a rush when you prove your point, but later you might feel empty or regretful. This is the ego's trap. It creates conflict just to feel important. Ego makes life a competition. You compare yourself to others, always checking who's ahead. If someone else succeeds, your ego feels threatened. You might even hope they fail just so you feel better. This constant comparison leads to jealousy and resentment. Sometimes you sabotage your own happiness, you procrastinate, doubt yourself, or give up before you start. This is called self-sabotage, and it's a trick of the ego. It whispers, "Why try if you might fail?" So you stay safe, but you also stay stuck. Psychologists call this the self-sabotage cycle. It starts with your shadow self, the part of you that feels not good enough. When your value is questioned, you feel pain and try to escape it by looking for approval or acting tough. But this only creates more problems. You end up acting like someone you're not, just to feel accepted. This is the imposter the ego creates, always chasing praise and hiding flaws. Have you noticed how hard it is to admit when you're wrong? That's the ego too. Studies show we defend our beliefs even when they're proven false. This is called confirmation bias. We look for reasons to be right and ignore anything that says we're wrong. It feels safer to defend ourselves than to be open to change, but this stubbornness can hurt us. It keeps us from learning and growing, and it also damages our relationships. Research shows that ego-driven behavior leads to more arguments and breakups. One study found that people with high ego traits have more relationship breakups than those with low ego traits. Couples who let ego control their actions are more likely to have serious problems or divorce. Why? Because ego makes it hard to listen, apologize, or compromise. We get defensive, blame others, and refuse to see our own part in the problem. In the workplace, ego can poison the whole team. A study found that people with high ego are more likely to sabotage coworkers or resist feedback. Toxic workplaces are full of ego battles, gossip, blame, and mistrust. Many employees say they've quit jobs because of ego-driven toxic cultures. Leaders with big egos create fear and competition instead of trust and teamwork. People stop sharing ideas and start protecting themselves. Ego is not just loud, it's sneaky. Carl Jung called the hidden part of us the shadow. It's all the feelings and traits we don't want to admit we have. When we deny our shadow, we start to see those traits in others. We judge, criticize, and blame, not realizing we're really fighting with ourselves. Jung said, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." The shadow can make us act out in ways we don't understand. We might get angry for no reason or push people away when we want them close. The more we ignore our shadow, the more trouble we create. We project our fears and flaws onto others, making life harder for everyone. Ego and shadow together can turn us into our own worst enemy. We lose touch with reality, stop caring about others, and get stuck in patterns that hurt us and the people we love. So what has ego cost you? Have you lost friendships, trust, or peace of mind? Have you missed out on love or growth because you had to be right? Have you ever wondered why the same problems keep coming back? Maybe it's time to ask, what is your ego really protecting? And what is it keeping you from becoming? Let's see how you can break free from this trap. One day, ego-driven living hits a wall. You feel tired all the time. You snap at people you care about. You work harder but feel less happy. You chase success but joy slips away. You feel alone even in a crowd. You wonder, why am I never satisfied? Maybe you regret things you said in anger. Maybe you lost a friend because you couldn't say sorry. Maybe you missed a chance because you were afraid to look weak. This is the breaking point. It's when you realize something isn't working. You start to see your ego in action. You notice how you always need to win. You see how you push people away. You feel the cost of always being right. It stings. It's like looking in a mirror and not liking what you see. Some people deny it. They say, "It's not my fault." They blame others or the world. Some feel shame. They think, "I'm a bad person." Others double down. They get louder, tougher, more stubborn. But deep down, the truth is clear. A recent survey found that many people admit their ego gets in the way of happiness. Most people say ego hurts their relationships. Many say ego stops them from asking for help. You're not alone in this struggle. Everyone has an ego. Everyone faces this wall at some point. But what if you could step outside the ego's grip? What if you could see your patterns and change them? Imagine feeling free from old rules. Imagine choosing peace over pride. Imagine growing instead of just surviving. This is the moment of awakening. It's the start of something new. Are you ready to see what's possible? Let's find out how to break free. Carl Jung had a wise answer. He called it integration. This means bringing your shadow and your true self together. It's like making friends with every part of you. You don't have to hide your flaws. You don't have to pretend to be perfect. You can accept yourself just as you are. Here's the first step. Stop justifying. Notice when your ego is making excuses. Catch yourself when you say, "It's not my fault." Ask, "Is this really true?" Challenge the stories your ego tells. The second step, start affirming. Remind yourself, "I am enough even with my mistakes." Practice humility. Say, "I don't know everything, and that's okay." Celebrate your small wins. Forgive your small slips. The third step, choose your peace. Ask, "Would I rather be right or be happy?" Pick growth over pride. Let go of old grudges. Let yourself learn. Try these simple tips. Take a deep breath when you feel triggered. Write your feelings in a journal. Have honest talks with people you trust. Listen more than you speak. Say, "I'm sorry" when you need to. Say thank you when you can. Vulnerability is powerful. When you drop your guard, real connection happens. People feel safer with you. You feel lighter inside. You stop fighting yourself. You start living with more freedom. You discover new choices. You see new possibilities. This is the gift of awakening. Are you ready to try? Let's take the next step together. Write this down. I choose peace over pride every day. You are not alone in this. Millions of people are learning to let go of ego. We are all growing one small step at a time. Imagine your life with more calm and less fighting. Picture yourself feeling lighter, happier, and free. See yourself building real, honest connections. Feel the weight of old grudges melting away. You can do this. You have the power to change. Start now. If this helped you, follow or subscribe for more healing ideas. Let's keep walking this path together. Every day is a new chance. You are stronger than your ego. You are ready. You are enough. Let's begin right here, right now.